can have it all. I can have it all.
Hi, this is Christy Whitman with the Quantum Success Show, where you can get your information and inspiration to create your desires. And we're going to continue with the two-part series of the rules of relationships with Karen LaMark Wilson. So I'm really excited to have Karen back with us this week to talk about the second rule of relationship. Well, Karen, thank you so much for being here with me again and for going through the second rule of relationship. By the way, we've been having just such a blast because Karen is just a wealth, I mean, sometimes a volcano of information that is just like information that so many other people on the planet don't have. And so Fred and Karen and I have just been having fun talking about all sorts of different topics. So I'm so excited to get into the second rule of relationship and see what manifests from this conversation.
Okay. Always fun.
Yes.
Always fun. Well, even though we sort of went far afield, we didn't really, because relationships are everything. Distant relationships, sort of close relationships, and of course intimacy. So important to us as humans. So the second rule of relationship, the second principle that's always working, is that if something is true for us, so do you mind if I use you and Fred?
Not at all. Please do.
If something's true for you, going on inside you, relating to your relationship with Fred, can be a little thing, can be a big thing. If something is true for you and you notice that kind of over time, it's coming up again and again, the second rule says that if it's true for you, then it's also true for the other person. Maybe not exactly, and that's really important to get, But in some form, that person is on different levels, either feeling how you're feeling, anxious, angry, upset, bored, how we get.
Sure.
what comes up in the ebb and flow of relationships, the cycling.
Yeah.
So if we're holding something and it's true for us, somehow it's true for the other person too. They're either picking up a little bit, or what's probably feeling is they're in the same field. We're in the same field, the mandorla. We overlap. And so there may be, let's say there's something that's irritating, one part of your partnership. You being sensitive, you're either picking that up, but you're also, there's something going on in you that's a little off-center too. And these are the things that we generally put to the side or move into denial or we marginalize or think, oh, that's no big deal, or I'll put whipped cream on top and smile and pretend it isn't there. The thing is, that doesn't go away. The second rule of relationship. The sooner we can catch that information from us, to us, from our embodied self to our consciousness, then we can do, sometimes I've thought of doing a whole thing around this, the dreaded words, honey, we need to talk. We need to talk. And that's whether it's with a partner or with a child or with a colleague or with a neighbor, that thing. We really need to talk about this because this is going on in me. Mm-hmm. And with more awareness, we also, and it helps us move to that conversation. Because, and I love this piece, it's, you know what? Because somehow that's going on in him too. Somehow that's going on in her too. It's a friend.
Well, can I share something,
Sure.
my personal story where this really, you've been talking to me about this for years and I've understood where it works in my relationship with Frederick, and yet what you're talking about, I was having an issue with a girlfriend, Kendra, and who was my trainer and also a friend, and for a long time was feeling, this isn't right anymore, I'd like to move on from this trainer and work with someone else. But I didn't want to lose her friendship, right? But yet, the way she was behaving with me and even like inviting us to dinner or inviting us to hang out, it wasn't quite the same either. So it was interesting because as I started to own that, okay, this is really bothering me and there is change that's needed here, is that I looked at her, and it's like her behavior towards me was also very different. So that, coming out of just the scope of my primary relationship and looking at how this really affects all relationships.
Absolutely.
My mother, every relationship.
Well, these are the first rule, first principle, and the second rule are both shortened versions of ancient wisdom. They're energetically based. They're based on sensory awareness. They're based on our internal maturity, right? Whether we call that spiritual maturity or how much we've hung out with the source, that kind of thing. How open we are to receiving, messages, intuition, and it's really lovely, and you can see how they come together. If we're teaching people how to treat us by the way we treat ourselves, and yet we have some angst or some irritation or something, everything cycles. The day, the night cycles into the evening. We know this. Seasons cycle into, and so too are relationships. And so if a season is changing in you with a friend or a colleague and we don't address that, then we start doing these cutoffs. And if the information is coming right there, and it's beautiful. So they relate in that if this is happening for me, and we sit with that and roll it around, or we check things out to make sure it's true and we're not just in a bad mood or something. Sure. So let the truth of who and where we are marinate a little bit in its truth. And if it stays, then it's an absolute honoring of ourselves. So we're basically also doing the first rule. We're going to enter into what can be a tough conversation. And of course, it's only as difficult as we make it.
Yes,
so
I'm learning that.
So it's not things we keep marginalized, it's ourselves that we keep marginalized. And the longer we do that in dishonoring ourselves and not speaking the truth and covering things up with a smile when we don't feel, all those things that we do, we're starting to teach people how to treat us by marginalizing us. We don't even know we're doing it. That's the first rule. And then the second rule, if they're feeling a distancing, an irritation, a change, they want to go do something else with somebody else but can't tell us because they're afraid they're going to hurt our feelings if they go off with another girlfriend. Understanding the first and the second rule of relationship and how they're integrated, and we can focus on one and practice and see how that works, or maybe focus on the other and see how that works. Ultimately, they weave together. And speaking about weaving together, all comes together for good. We're deepening, strengthening, and honoring our relationship with ourselves. Deepening, honoring, and strengthening a relationship with someone else, even if it's the end of the season. Nobody has to be the bad guy. Yes. There does not have to be, just so important, there's no need for emotional cutoff. It's all okay. There's this sort of, fluidity that happens.
Yes.
So these two rules or principles of relationship are huge and helpful, and they are simple. They're, again, like that. There's so much more and can carry us so far once we enjoy the joy of the importance of our relationships.
You know what you just said too, I think really needs to be talked about just for even just a brief moment is the fact that there's that saying that some people come in your life for a lifetime, a reason, a season, that type of thing. And it's so important that we recognize and honor within ourselves where we've had a relationship for so long, maybe it's a 15-year relationship, It's been very significant, but it's now time. It's like it's time for this person to go this way and this person to go this way. Honor each other for the gifts and the foibles and the everything that goes along with it, the growth points and all the beautiful times your buttons were pushed and you worked through them and the growth and all that.
Absolutely.
All of that. But to walk away not as a cutoff,
right,
but really walking away with a space of gratitude and love.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's no secret I was married before, and you helped me actually, even after I met you, right after I met Frederick. And so it was a very short amount of time between my separation and also, or not separation, my divorce, and then I think it was about 8 months later after my divorce, and I was already, you know, with Frederick. And there were energy points where you could see within me that there was still letting go. And so I was able to gain even more closure with my past relationship and come truly to a place of just love. And every time I think of that man, I'm so grateful, because I'm grateful for the growth that I had with him to allow me to be the woman I am, to be able to attract Fred into my life.
Right.
You know, I wouldn't have been able to have him in my life if it wasn't for the relationship I had for 8 years with my previous partner. So every time I think of him, I can think of like the funny things he did now and the things he said, or a movie that reminds me, and I think of him with just such love. I mean, there's no like bitter animosity. I don't feel like there's any resentment there. And I, you know, just recently, as you very well know, released a 15-year-old relationship, very important to me. And I'm starting to get there. I feel like, you know, I'm releasing as I go. I'm releasing the hurts, but to recognize that this person was in my life for 15 years for so many great reasons, for so many great growth points, and to be able to go, I honor you, I thank you, I bless you, and you know, it's like, and now I'm going this way, you know. So I appreciate you saying that. And I just wanted to, you know, I felt like it just needed a little more. Let's go deeper with it, because it's so true.
Great examples. You know, our divorce rate is so high. People experience the difficulty of how to flip that energy. We talk about forgiveness, we talk about letting go, releasing, and again, keeping this within the realm of the structure of the rules of relationship. It's really important. When we love anything, our pets, people, children, men, women, friends, when we love, this is why emotional cutoff is a whole topic in itself, because it damages both ends. We think we're done, we think we're complete, and what we've done is we've done a cutoff. So when we love, there literally are, they're very stretchy, and when it's a clean let go, these love cords, they're strings, they're fine, remain. They're no longer what's called aka cords. I don't know if you've talked to people about aka cords. You want to mention? Sure. Because this is part of it. And aka means sticky. So it's like when we give a gift, we're hoping we'll get one back, or hoping that they'll like our present better than anybody else in the room. You know, any desire back, there's a sticky. It's not a clean gift.
Yeah.
And so gifting, that's love. So you were married for a time, and I had a first marriage too, you know. I understand. With our children, with mates, with girlfriends, with neighbors. It's through relationship. When we allow ourselves the joy and the depth to get to that place where we have clean memories, when it's time, when we may have that difficult conversation, or we bring up to the surface that changes are here.
We can't deny them.
Right.
Yeah.
This is where the two rules come together. And as you honored yourself, either through working on those shadow points and the aka cord pieces of your last, you know, of where you were divorced, and yet you really weren't, because there was still some aka cords.
Yes.
This is where we don't feel appreciated, when we don't. Once we clean those up, what's left is this really beautiful kind of silvery gold. It's hard to explain that color. Of love. Yeah. So we're teaching other people how to treat us, because you're actually honoring yourself for doing the work and having those clean adult conversations rather than pretending they're not there.
Yes.
And also the second rule of relationship, because you know if it was true for you,
it's true for the other person.
Somehow it's true. Yeah. If you're ready to walk and you haven't had the talk, guess something's going on there too. So somebody needs to come forward with, we need to talk.
Yeah.
And that's a deal. And that's where the two rules really integrate and weave together and are lifelong companions, guides, helpers. Great. Yeah, friendship, relationships. I mean, that's why we're here.
Yeah. Absolutely. God, Karen, I just can listen to you all day, and I have before. Oh, yes. So grateful that you're in my life. I mean, I have so much gratitude. I know you're all about energy, so you can feel that.
I can see it.
And words can't express it, so just know that I love you and I appreciate you.
And I know you do. And I know you know that I love you too.
Absolutely. And so appreciate you being able to share your amazing wisdom with my family. So thank you so much. Thanks.
You mean the rest of our family?
The rest of our family.
Oh, okay.
Well, thank you so much, Karen. That was really amazing, and I know that it's helped me so much in my relationships, and especially my primary relationship with Frederick. So let me know how this information has impacted you. Let's continue the conversation. Please leave a comment. Let me know how are you going to implement this information in your life. If you haven't gone to the YouTube channel, please go there to Christy Whitman, and you can see all the other videos, all the other episodes if you missed the other 2 episodes with Karen, and subscribe because you can get all the videos for getting more information and more information in your life. So thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day. Know that you are supported. The universe is friendly and is always supporting your highest good.
The artist of my painting, I'm the driver of my car, I'm the director of my play, and baby, I'm the star.
Are you ready to have it all? When you pre-order your copy of The Art of Having It All today, not only will you get instant access to the digital ebook version that you can read right now, but you'll also get access to over 102 other celebrity interviews where they share their secrets on how they created a life of having it all. Click the link below to discover how you can start having it all right now.